What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Miguel. You're watching Miguel EDC, the channel where we talk everything EDC gear. Here today, we're going to take a look here at this OTF out the front knife. This one comes via the Takcom company. This one's called the, we want to pronounce it Chimera, but it's actually, from what I understand, pronounced Chimera, right? And of course, you can see the spelling on the video title here. And from what I understand, a Chimera is part of mythology. It's a mixture or a mix of creatures, right? So if you know more about mythology, that definitely will be in your wheelhouse. I'm not an expert in mythology at all, but at least it's good to have some understanding what the name means. So Chimera, that's the correct pronunciation, meaning a mix of creatures. And what they're trying to do here is they're trying to go for a mix of classic and futuristic design. You can see that by all of the milling going on here. By the way, the casing on this OTF knife is aluminum. We got CNC going on all throughout with beautiful lines that give it personality, give it character, right? Some of them give you jimping underneath. Also, some of those lines give you jimping on top. The other lines just give it nice character. This is T6, 60, 61 aluminum going on here. And yeah, very futuristic look to it on this guy. Really, really dig it 100%. This is my first experience with an OTF, believe it or not. So I've been in my EDC journey here since around August of 2022 and took my channel serious as of January of 2023. And would you believe it, the OTS have been on my bucket list for the longest time, and I finally got a chance to check that off. So first OTF that I'm ever checking out, and man, oh man, am I really impressed with the performance, with the feel, with how this guy really carries. It's a really, really good, satisfying experience to say the least, and we're going to get into it here in this video. Keep in mind, this guy will be linked down below in the description, as well as any other knife that you see in this video. So if you want to learn more about these knives, you can check those links down there. Of course, it does help out the channel if you purchase any knife using those links, but that is entirely up to you. Let's get a quick size measurement here on this bad boy. Right, we get an idea what we're working with. This is definitely in the medium to large size of things, and we're coming in exactly at 8 1/4, 8.25 inches overall length. The blade is going to be around 3 1/4, and of course you do have, this is a dagger blade with sharp edge on both ends. We're going to get more into that geometry a little bit later. The handle is coming in at 5 inches, right? 5 inches overall on the handle right there. And let's do some quick size comparisons here, right? Just to get an idea here as far as size 2, as we're in that topic. There is the PM2. And honestly, if there's a knife that it compares to the most on overall size, it's going to be the same size as that PM2 right there. Here's the Para 3 for comparison, right? For reference. Yeah, but definitely lines up really, really well with that PM2, no doubt. The cutting edge is about the same, maybe a little bit longer on the Chimera. This one also comes on a Wharncliffe blade too, by the way. So sheep's foot Wharncliffe blade is also an alternative on this guy, which honestly might be my pick, even though I love dagger blades. It's a little bit more classic style, if anything, but we really love to have both. But yeah, Wharncliffe version on this one, and the bottom edge is going to be actually longer than the top edge, and in that sense it's actually a little bit longer cutting edge than the PM2. Here's the Demko AD 20.5 and the titanium scales right there. Recently acquired this guy, by the way. Check out the unboxing on this thing. It's one of my grail EDCs for a long, long time that I've really been wanting to have. And I finally did it, finally pulled the trigger, and man, oh man, am I so satisfied with it. Again, check out the unboxing on that one. The Spyderco Shark Cub is a new knife from Demko, came out last year, 2023. Both of these are going to be shorter than the Chimera. Check out the Rat Model 1, Rat Model 2. Honestly, it hangs around with the Rat Model 1 quite a bit, even though the Rat Model 1 is longer by about 1/4 inch. There's a Rat Model 2 for reference. Here's the very popular CJRB Pyrite Alt, the Wharncliffe blade, button lock. And here is the Vosteed Raccoon with the micarta 14C28N blade and the crossbar lock. and the Chimera is going to be a little bit longer. Keep in mind, you also have this glass breaker on the back. We're going to talk about that in a second. So that adds another 1/4 inch right there to the overall length. And lastly, here are two knives that I'm currently EDCing. Reviews on these two are coming up very soon. This is the Kansept Anomaly right there, very elegant Dirk Pinkerton design. And this is a JK Knives design, the Kansept Integra, right? So it's actually very close to the Integra, even though the Integra takes the cake by a hair. Okay, so, but you guys take a look. Again, just give you an idea, right? Different knives, different manufacturers, definitely going to be on that large knife category, without a doubt. So this knife is OEM by Bestech. And yes, Bestech is a Chinese company, in case you live under a rock and you didn't already know that. Bestech is a Chinese manufacturer, and they OEM this knife for Takcom. And we already know Bestech does a really good job with the work they do with their fit and finish. This thing here certainly proves that. And man, oh man, have I been just standing around looking at this thing from time to time, checking out the work that they've done here. Is a really good work. Love this green right here. Looks really good. It's like an OD military olive green kind of. The pocket clip is reversible. You can mount it on both ends. You would just take off the little section here with the glass breaker and just flip it, mount it on the other side. And just the overall action on this thing, right? There's just enough pressure to it. You do have to give it the beans a little bit. Boom, to action. The deployment there. Same deal on the way back, right? Check it out. And it just fires with an attitude, right? There's a little bit of recoil to it, which is nice, right? Kind of makes you feel like you're handling an OTF, and this thing is the real deal here, right? Check out the recoil there a little bit. Maybe I can do like a slow motion clip right here. Here we go. All right, so we'll do that. We'll play that in slow motion. But yeah, this thing is done really good. We have a double edge on both sides, which means on this dagger configuration, it means that the middle, the center, is going to be a little thick, right? A little thick right there. I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but if you think about it, you're coming to a very thin edge on both ends, but you still have to give the blade somewhat rigidity to it. Let's do a blade stock thickness here just to have a ballpark right there. So it does have a 0.12 inch thickness on the blade, and it has a 0.45 inch thickness on the handle. So that blade being a little thick in the middle means that it's not going to be the best slicer in the world, if you think about it, right? Because it has to get thick pretty quick to then get thin really quick. So as compared to something like a flat grind, like on this Kansept Anomaly here, right? This guy is not going to be necessarily the best slicer, even though it can certainly slice, but not the best slicer. Where it does excel, what it does really good is with this pokey tip right here, like Nick Chavas will say, it is definitely a great piercer, right? A piercing task is gonna definitely be something that this guy will excel at. And whatever that translates into for your EDC needs, well, there you go. 154 cm steel on this bad boy, which again, 154 cm is a little bit of a higher tier. It's not necessarily a super steel, but it is step above D2, right? Step above 14C28N, step above Nitro V. So it's pretty good. Check out the blade play on this guy. That's right. There's only side to side or up and down. Yeah, up and down a little bit, but there's barely any side to side. If you compare that to other OTF knives from other manufacturers, you'll find that there's just a little bit more play based on what I've seen. And you can check other review videos on this guy to confirm what I'm saying for sure here on YouTube. But yeah, this guy is pretty sturdy, very minimum play for what it is. So good job on that for Bestech on this one. Yeah, this thing hits really hard on the way in, on the way out, right? Right, I like the fact that you have this sort of shape down here. It kind of gives you a good like finger guard protection. I did have someone comment on my short. I did a short on this video, on this knife, and someone commented that they accidentally had their finger on the blade path, and then immediately, the knife showed them how well it performed, how well it could cut. So I like the fact that this works sort of like a finger guard here with enough jimping. So you position your hand really well, right? You get enough leverage, open and close the knife. without any issues. Let's do a quick weight on this guy. Again, this is aluminum construction, so it feels really, really good on the hand. And it doesn't feel really heavy at all. I want to say 3.5 ounces, 3.5, 3.6. Ooh, look at that, even lower than that, right? 3.1 ounces. Talk about a very light OTF knife. 3.1 ounces. So we know it feels really good on the hand as far as that weight goes. It's not going to be an ultra heavy knife. And it's still a pretty decently large knife, right? You saw that during the size comparison and measurements. Let's do a quick hardware check on this bad boy. Of course, my tools are highly recommended and linked down below. You can check them out. And let's see the T8. It looks like we have T8, big hardware going on all around this guy here, which is perfect. Yeah, there's no small hardware nonsense going on here. So it's only on one side, which is really nice. The other side is nice and flush. No hardware on the other side, which is perfect. And then you can really just use anything like a paper clip or something like that. You do have some holes going on here on this crown. Right there, you can see through it. You stick a little piece of metal there and just twist it and turn it to, you know, take off the ceramic ball here and flip the pocket clip around if you needed to. So the pocket clip is pretty much deep carry, right? The only thing that is going to be showing out of your pocket is going to be the little crown there for the glass breaker. That's about the only thing. Everything else is going to be pretty much hidden from the pocket. About that much is going to be hidden. I do have a small gripe with the pocket clip. And again, I props to them for making it reversible. Props to them for making it extra deep carry. I did notice though in my carry experience that when you are, you know, especially I have it mounted on the right, I'm right-handed, the corner of the pocket clip does sink into my hand a little bit. You do feel that, especially when you're getting a strong grip right here to open and close the blade, right? That corner, that's like a 90-degree or even, you know, like sharper corner to the pocket clip that sinks into your hand a little bit. So not the most comfortable experience. And I can tell you, like, if I do it with my left hand, right, opposite side of where the pocket clip is, I don't have that concern at all, right? I can grip and bear down on the handle here as much as I need to, and I don't feel that pocket clip at all. So when it's on my right hand, yeah, certainly feel that corner poking me there quite a bit. So perhaps maybe rounding it off a little bit, making it less pokey, less sharp of a turn, right? Maybe rounding it off, that would have helped a bit right there. I do give it props for being so thin, right? When it's in your pocket, unless you really know what you're looking at and you know exactly this tip being a glass breaker, kind of might look like a pen, right? Because it's such a thin profile there on the pocket clip. But other than that, honestly, I feel like that is about the only negative thing that I found on this knife is how sharp that pocket clip is. But other than that, everything else feels really, really good, right? The button here to actuate the blade is also aluminum. It's nice and jimped all throughout. They executed that very, very well. You get all the grip you need to open and close the blade. Boom. As you would expect. It's really, really good, really well as expected. And something you might not know with OTF, especially this one being a dual action OTF, is the fact that there's a safety mechanism built into it. If you were to actuate it, right, let's say against a surface of some sort, it would actually fail, right? See, notice it didn't go out all the way, right? And it will still puncture, but very, very little. And all you have to do there to get it back on its track is to stretch it all the way out. And then you're good to go. Right? Back in action. So that is unique for dual action OTS, meaning OTS that you can deploy and retract with the same button. There are single action OTS, which you have to kind of stretch the back portion and reload the blade, if you will. Those function a little bit different. So I thought that was a little neat to make sure I showed on this video in case you didn't already know. You have what I think is a black DLC, or at least a black coat going on the blade. It is dual coated. I like how they did it, where you still have some satin portions and then you have the fullers also painted black right there in the middle. That looks really good, kind of completes the aesthetics very well, you know, with the button being black as well, the clip being black, you know, the ceramic ball bearing crown there being black. It honestly looks really, really good. It looks really astonishing for, you know, this knife, and honestly it's really, really nice looking. This guy's linked down below, but the price on this thing is about $170, right? So it's not bad with the price if you really consider the Microtech counterparts knives coming out of you know, US built ones. The equivalent of this knife built in the US would be starting at around $300 at least, right? The Microtechs, the Benchmades, all that are OTS out the front will probably start at about 300 and then only going up from there. So that is certainly something that you get here, a very good value for the money. The construction feels really good. So let's do a quick cutting test on this bad boy. I did one during the unboxing, but in case you didn't see that, here's what it looks like. Remember, this is not the best slicer out there, but it still will slice. It gets thick in the middle. So there we go. See, if it catches a little bit, it might just tear the paper. But when it gets a good slice, right, it will get some nice swirls. Check out those swirls right there. Those look really, really, really good. We'll do a few more. All right, check that out. Okay, so we know it can do paper. What about some cardboard, right? And we got your everyday cardboard here. Now keep in mind, this one excels at piercing. That is the main task for a dagger blade, right? But for your EDC task, if you are slicing any material, right? Check it out here next to the cardboard. Remember, when cutting cardboard, don't cut perpendicular like this, we'll add an angle, and it will look something like this. Right, so still will cut, right? But notice you're gonna have a little bit more friction, is what I'm noticing. You're gonna notice a little bit more friction there coming from that thick portion of the blade. Yeah, but it will certainly cut cardboard. You guys let me know in the comments, right? Rate that cutting performance on the cardboard there from 1 through 10. I would really love to check out the Warncliffe version, because I know that one has a flat grind all through and through, and I'm sure that one's even more of a slicer than this one. Will be worth checking out for sure, hopefully if I can in the near future. Well, there you have it, guys. That has been the Takcom Chimera, right? Again, this is a very good, very well priced OTF, Best Tech being the OEM here. They did a really, really killer job. It's been a great experience for me to be my very first OTF to check out here personally, and also share with you guys here in the channel. Keep in mind, this guy will be linked down below in the description if you want to learn more. Again, about $170, which is really not bad at all compared to what other OTFs come in at, especially made in the US. Is going to be a lot more money, starting maybe 300s and up. And honestly, you get a lot of, you know, the great action, very reliable functionality. Best Tech did a killer job right here, as they usually do with the knives that they OEM here. So great job. Really, really impressed. Again, the only gripe being the pocket clip being a little too pokey right there into the palm, especially when really bearing down on it, getting a good grip to open and close the blade. Other than that, everything else is executed really, really well. The fit and finish, the overall design, these futuristic lines look really, really good. The button, the way it was jimped here to open and close the blade is great. You still have the little pokey ball bearing crown in the back, ceramic ball bearing in the back here, so it might be a little bit pokey as you're trying to get your hand into your pocket. Something that you get used to over time. I like the fact that they kind of cut it here, right, so that your hand just slices in like that, and you can try to avoiding, you know, stabbing yourself with the ball bearing glass breaker there as much as possible. But yeah, other than that, they killed this thing. They did an awesome job. They knocked it out of the park. Really impressed with Takcom as a company here. Hopefully I can check out some more of their models here in their near future. I feel like they did a really good job. Guys, let me know if I missed anything. Let me know in the comments anything else you want to know about this knife. Let's hang out down there, have a discussion about this knife. And a shout out to Lefty EDC for the opportunity to check this one out. Go check out Lefty's channel if you haven't already. Guys, at this point, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, this will be a great time to do so. It helps the channel grow and helps you make content like this more and more often. Smash that like button if you haven't already. If you want to support the channel a step further, go ahead and check that Patreon link down below. Or if you want to support the channel here on YouTube, you can become a member of the channel to get access to exclusive perks. Chances are the review for the Kansept Corvid S, this small but mighty, very functional, great performer of a fixed blade, is up and ready to go here on the channel. If you haven't checked that one out, I'm going to put a link for it right here for you guys to check that one next. Thank you guys for hanging with me until the very end. You guys are the real MVPs. I love you all. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll be seeing you guys on the next one. Peace.